Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Modern American Patriot, and I'm giving you the 5 things your National Guard recruiter won't tell you or doesn't tell you when you're going to enlist. Now, I'm going to caveat by saying aren't necessarily bad things. These are just things that you need to keep in mind when you're enlisting and kind of trying to help you know what you're signing up for a little bit more. Some background on me: I've been an infantryman in the National Guard for going on 5 years now. I'm a team leader. And these are just things that I think soldiers don't know when they're enlisting. And I'm just trying to give this information out so you guys can get this info so you can kind of use these things to make your decision. Again, I'm not trying to sway anybody. I'm just trying to give you guys the real facts because these are things that a lot of this stuff I wish that I knew when I was enlisting. And like I said, not all bad. So I'm going to jump into the first one. Everybody kind of hears like the whole thing. The drill is going to be 1 week in a month and 2 weeks over the summer. So the reality of the demands are it all depends what your unit's doing. So when I first got to my unit, we were headed to XCTC, which is training to get ready for NTC essentially. But it's like combat readiness training. But you have a train up to go to XCTC, and that train up could be 5, 6, 7, 8 day drills, and that's going to be month to month to month. We were having 5, 6, 7, 8 days out in the field, and that was happening for 4 or 5 months at a time. So it's just demanding on your time, and then leading up to the actual XCTC, which I think we were out there in the field for like a month and a half, and I know a lot of the active duty guys are listening to this and they're rolling their eyes. Oh, like he's complaining about 5, 6, 7 days on the field. The thing is, when you have civilian jobs, like I work in law enforcement, there's just things that people need to keep in mind just knowing when they sign up. I'm not saying it's bad. All that training was great and it was honestly an awesome learning experience, and I enjoyed a lot of it. It's just knowing that reality. If you're a college student, a big sell for the National Guard is the college benefits. I know people that have actually, so the college is supposed to work with you just like jobs are supposed to work with you. But when you're gone a lot of time, your job's not going to fire you for military reasons because they legally can't, but they'll fire you for other reasons. I've known people who have lost their jobs because of the amount of time that they were gone. I also know people that their college professors were like, hey, I understand that you got to do your military time, but you've missed too much class and you're going to have to make this class up, and it's not going to be counted against you, but you're going to have to make this class up. So I actually know people who have actually dropped out of school while they were in the National Guard and planned on going after with their National Guard benefits because of how taxing the demand was on them. So that's number one. The drill time, the reality is going to be a lot more drill time than you are expecting. Number 2, benefits. So to get your benefits, you need to do a full 6 years. So there's a 3-year commitment and a 6-year commitment. I think there might actually be a 2 also. I'm not a recruiter. I'm just trying to give you guys the real facts. But with that 3-year enlistment, you will not get the full college benefits. You won't get your a lot of the VA stuff or anything like that. So just so you know, you're gonna have to do a 6-year commitment, and then you'll get your full college benefits. Now, if you do another 6-year commitment, then that's another 4 years of college paid for. So if you do 12 years, that's two 4-year degrees for you. So you could go get your master's or higher education, or that's for your spouse, and you could give it to your spouse and one of your kids, or you could give it to 2 of your kids. So that is a huge benefit. It's just something to keep in mind. But it is a 12-year commitment. So if you're going to be doing an interstate transfer, something that you need to know though, that a lot of people don't, is like, let's say that you are in the Texas National Guard and you have used your 4 years of college, your 4-year benefits, and now you got a job in Colorado and you want to move, and you still have 2 years left on your National Guard contract. you actually have to pay back those 4 years to the state of Texas before they're going to let you switch your unit to another state. So how it works is whatever state you're in is going to give you benefits to pay for your education. So, like let's say it's Texas State University. I'm just using like a random state and a random college, but they would give you your 4 years for free, and actually pay you to go. National Guard, big selling point, which I'm sure you've heard from your recruiter. But if you would move to Colorado with a new job that you got right out of college, and you still have 2 years left on your contract, you're going to need to finish your time obligation to the state of that 6 years before you're actually going to be able to move to a different state, unless you pay that full 4 years back. So that's something to keep in mind and to know. Number 3 is, so if you're going to do a 6-year contract, you're going to get called for something. Like things have changed, and so I'm not a historian, so I'm going to give a brief kind of history, and this shouldn't scare you. If anything, this should kind of motivate you and make you take your training more seriously. But so kind of what happened when the war in Iraq was going on, and like I said, not a historian. I'm sure I'll get corrected in the comments section, but this is just like a brief overview. So they were making soldiers and Marines active duty, doing so many combat rotations back to back to back to back to back because they needed troops. Before that, traditionally, the National Guard was kind of like a laughing stock, to be honest. It was, they weren't very well funded, they weren't very well trained, and everybody kind of knew this. So, what ended up happening is combat stress was getting so much on those active duty troops that they started implementing National Guard troops in active duty deployments and rotations. So as everything in American government goes, once it goes one way, it's almost impossible to get it back. So once they realized that they could use National Guard units to supplement active duty rotations, so that units either weren't doing missions that they didn't want to or didn't look good on paper, or like look good as in like, well, anyway, we'll just keep going, but you kind of get the idea. They wanted like the real sexy missions, and they would give National Guard units like fob security or things like that. Or if they just wanted to get National Guard troops in there to help supplement the active duty units, they were actually put in place, and they were doing the exact same thing the active duty infantry units across the board were doing. So now, because the active duty and the National Guard work so hand in hand, a lot of National Guard guys will be supplemented on active duty rotations, especially in like the weird MOSs that aren't super common, but like infantry. If you listen to Jocko, he talks about serving with National Guard in Iraq, and they were out there doing the exact same job that active duty line infantry units were doing. That's not to say that they're the same thing. That's just to say that the training has become a lot more demanding. And so like that's been the biggest struggle with the National Guard, is the funding has been put there. The mission set has changed to be to more from domestic to foreign. And so it's trying to prepare infantry units without as much time as an active duty unit, training them for combat rotations, or keeping them at least good enough that when they need to go and be spun up, they'll be ready to be spun up. So anyway, moving on from there, you kind of get the idea. So, but like what I'm saying is, I've been called up for riot control. I've also been overseas. So like, you're gonna be doing stuff the entire time that you're in. I've been to NTC. I've been to so many military bases doing different kinds of training. And the good thing about that is if your unit's well funded, you can get a lot of schools. Like I've gotten to go to some specialized schools, which has been pretty awesome. And I was right there with active duty guys, which was pretty cool. So, moving on from there, it's just you will be called for something. It's something to know. 4 kind of goes with number 1 with the drill time, just family demands and money. So I don't want to talk bad about anything, but I've had issues being paid before. They've been fixed quickly, I will say that. But sometimes you'll be gone and you'll go 3 or 4 weeks And when you're gone for 3 or 4 weeks, you're not active duty. You're used to making more money in the civilian world. I make far more money in my civilian job, trust me, than I do in the National Guard. So when I'm put on active duty orders, a lot of times I'll actually be losing money. So it's just something to consider, or if you're a college student, being able to take that time away from classes to go to special schools. Like, you might get an opportunity to go to air assault school, any high-speed cool guy school. A lot of guys can't go just because of their college commitments, which can be good if you're a young single guy that's not in college, or if you don't have a family. But just know that these demands are there, and it does put a toll and tax on your family. A lot of the active duty guys don't kind of get the complaint of being a citizen and a soldier. I will say that a lot of the guys in the National Guard are prior service, and so it's like, in a majority, it's an older group of people. It's not a lot of 18, 19-year-olds. It's a more older, more senior group of people. And so these are people that have full-time jobs. I've met people that make $150,000 a year that are doing National Guard time because they were active duty and they just love serving. And I mean, that might sound stupid to some people, but those people giving back and just being there training soldiers, is just awesome. But so the last one I'm going to talk about, before I get to my kind of extra bonus point, is funding. So a lot of what you're going to be doing is going to be based on the funding of your unit. And if your state's really well funded and your unit's well funded, you're going to have so many opportunities to do so many cool things. If your state's not well funded and your unit's not well funded, you might have beat up old gear, you might have crappy stuff. My state and my unit's very well funded. We get new weapon systems all the time. We get new gear. When our privates come in from, their AIT, they're getting pretty much brand new stuff. So, we may be behind the active duty sometimes, but like when the Army's new handguns came out, it's a perfect example. Like, our unit had them right away. So because we're an infantry unit, we're well funded. I mean, our whole goal is to be as combat ready as we can be. So that's something, that can be good or bad. And then number 6, the last thing I said, like, I don't want to sway anybody from their decision. I just wanted you to know the realities of it, because I'm quite honestly tired of getting people that don't know the realities. Not that I knew them coming in, but the National Guard has been an absolutely awesome experience for me. The people that I've been surrounded with and the leadership that I've been mentored by this has been one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest with you. I've gotten great training. I've gotten to work with guys from different units all over the military, coming straight off of active duty and teaching us different things that they've learned from all over. I've gotten to work from guys that are former Ranger Regiment guys, guys from the Marines, guys from just all over, infantry units from all over the military, just coming together and kind of putting together what works. We have guys that work on the SWAT team. We have guys who are in law enforcement like myself, and we take that training from all around, and it makes a really well-rounded soldier. The really cool thing about National Guard guys is we get to pull from our civilian experience and bring it into the military. So when we're learning something like detainee operations or something like that, or room clearing, we got guys who have real life experience being able to teach us from what they learned on their deployments, and then we have guys from the Marines, from special operations, from all over, teaching us what they learned, and then we have guys that have experience here in the United States, working in law enforcement, saying like, hey, don't do that, do this, and it gives a fresh mindset to a lot of the training that we run through. It just makes it a really cool and awesome experience. I've met some of my best friends that I have. The National Guard in each state, from the state that I come from, is a very tight-knit family. The reputation that you earn for yourself, you can kind of be well known all over for that. And if you keep going to schools, you're going to meet a lot of different people and experience a lot of new things. Try to keep in contact with people that I've gone to different schools with, and it's just been an awesome experience. It's not for everybody. If you're looking for the free college and the easy 1 week in a month, 2 weeks over the summer, you're not signing up for the 1980s National Guard anymore. Things have changed. The demands have changed a lot. I know units that have had do one rifle qualification a year, given an M4, and gone out to do patrolling during riots. So it's, you know, you got big shoes to fill. The country needs you for a lot of new and different missions, and not all of them are fun, and you're not always going to be liked. But it's an important torch to carry, and I take pride in being a guardsman and a citizen soldier. If you guys have any questions, please ask them down in the comments below. I know that like 98% of our video watchers on our YouTube channel aren't subscribed, so if you could hit that subscribe button, that'd be awesome. Maybe like this video. We got a bunch of other videos. Some of them are really old. You know, Eric's on this channel too. He's a Marine combat veteran. He's got some interesting perspective videos on here too. We're going to keep cranking out new content. But thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you like it, and we got more to come. Like I said, any questions you got below, I'll be pretty quick on answering them. Thank you for your guys' time.